Hello and welcome to a review of the Doctor Who Sensorites action figure set. This has been kindly sent to me by Character Options for review. It isn't actually in the shops as yet, although it is due very shortly. This is going to be a B&M exclusive, so it's obviously only going to be available through the B&M chain. But these are due, I think, around mid-August, so I'd basically say to keep an eye out for them any sort of time now. So this set is based on the 1964 story, The Sensorites, which is from Doctor Who's first season. As we can see, fairly standard sort of packaging, very similar to the packaging on the B&M sets from the last few years. As I said, we spin it around. So we've got a bit of information about the story on the back here. The only difference really from previous year's releases is that this set has got a sort of diorama background. Previous years it's just sort of been blank, so as I say, that's a nice addition. So yeah, we'll get this sort of opened up and take a closer look. So as we can see, the diorama's basically based on the spaceship from the story. So here we've got the regular Sensorite. First Doctor. And the Sensorite Elder. We also have these little sort of handheld things, which in the story they actually used one of these to extract the TARDIS lock. I can't actually remember if they did anything else with it, but so it's nice that Character Options have included these. So yeah, overall a very nice set. I do think with the B&M sets that each year they seem to outdo themselves from the year before. I mean, it was only maybe 5-6 years ago that the B&M sets, all there were basically just reissues of existing sort of figures, mainly Matt Smith, David Tennant era figures. I mean, the idea of getting something like this was a pipe dream, basically. So yeah, this year, obviously in the Sensorites, we have virtually an all-new figure. Obviously the head sculpts are new, and they've actually gone to the trouble of re-sculpting doing new tooling for the feet. Obviously the body is a reuse of an old Axon Man body, which we'll get to in a minute. But yeah, technically, as I say, these are very close to being all new figures. As I say, we'll take a look here at the regular Sensorite. So yeah, very nice sort of head sculpt. I mean, considering these are 60 years old, the Sensorites, I think the design sort of stands up fairly well. Basically what they have done with this is that they've swapped as I say, the main body is the Axon Man sculpt, which as I say I've got here. You can see even the hands are the same sort of design, but what they've done is they've swapped the lower legs out, so these from the sort of knee down, it's basically all new sort of sculpting. And also obviously in this year's wave of B&M releases is the Vord figures, which also use the same body. So what you can see they've done here is they've sort of there's a joint at the ankle here, so that allows them to obviously swap for the Vord. Obviously the feet will be swapped out for different pieces. So yeah, it's a very clever reuse of the sort of generic sort of body. I don't think you'd really notice if it wasn't pointed out. But yeah, as I say, very impressed with that figure. So the first Doctor is this is basically just the same sculpt that was released back in, I think, 2009. It is just a repaint, but I think William Hartnell figures are a bit thin on the ground in recent years, so I think it's a welcome release. I think Hartnell figures are quite sought after on eBay, I believe. This particular version, I think, is very similar to the one that was released in the 13 Doctors set. I think there's some minor differences, but it's very close to that version. Yeah, again, as I say, good figure. As I say, the Sensorite Elder is virtually the same sculpt as the regular Sensorite. I think there's a few slightly different paint details. Obviously we've got this sash which has been sort of added on. It doesn't seem to be removable, although I'm sure somebody could probably find a way of getting it off, but yeah, it's pretty much sort of a solid moulding. I think it has been suggested that you could take this off and make it into a single sash, which was also featured in the story, but I personally wouldn't like to attempt anything like that. I think the point in the story, which I always thought was slightly silly in the Sensorites TV story, was that they couldn't tell each other apart, so they had to use these sashes to sort of denote each other's sort of rank, which yeah, as I say, I didn't think that was a great sort of idea in the story, but overall I think the Sensorites is fairly watchable. It's probably not my favourite season 1 story, but as I say, the early episodes are quite atmospheric. So yeah, as I say, very nice set of figures. We'll just bring in for comparison. So I wanted to sort of show all three of these, just to highlight the obviously the reuse of the sculpt. That's Sharaz Jack, which again uses the same sort of body, and as I say, the Axon Man. So yeah, anybody who sort of has been following these B&M sets will realise, although characters have been very clever, there's a lot of economy going on. Obviously, by using this body sort of several times in the sets, obviously 2 Sensorites, 2 Vord, it obviously then allows them to obviously invest in tooling for things like the heads and the feet, sort of stuff like that. I don't think it's possible on the B&M budget to produce a whole new figure from sort of top to bottom. I think it's also possible we'll see this body reused on some sets later in the year. It's also possible, I think the first Doctor figure's probably going to see another outing in some form. So yeah, there's a lot of economy going on, but as I say, for the price point and what they're giving, so what we're getting, really, you just can't complain. I mean, $19.99 for a set of 3 figures in 2021 is a bargain, really. I mean, you look at things like the Star Wars Black Series, or even the smaller 3 3/4 inch figures, and you're just sort of paying that for one figure. Even some of the Forbidden Planet exclusives were sort of £15 per sort of figure, and that was 10 years ago. So yeah, $19.99 is an absolute steal. So yeah, as I say, very impressed with this. As I say, I'm going to be obviously getting my hands on the other sets when they come in store, which should hopefully be very soon. and yeah, as I say, it's kind of uncanny, as I say, the idea of walking into somewhere like B&M, which, to be fair, it's not a specialist collector's shop. It is just a sort of bargain stroke budget sort of retailer. So to walk in there and get a set based on a kind of 60-year-old, what to many, I suppose, the more casual sort of fan would be a very sort of obscure story. Yeah, it's crazy that this is happening, but as I say, yeah, as I say, great. And as I say, I just hope that the releases sort of keep coming. We've got as I say, the Keys of Marinus set, which is also in this wave, and 2 History of the Daleks sets. So yeah, I hope to be reviewing those, as I say, very shortly. So yeah, as I say, thanks for watching and stay tuned.